On September 2, 2019, Ing-Wen Tsai decided to take legal action to defend her academic integrity. Her office emailed Clive Wilson, Enquiry Services Manager at the LSE Library, requesting Tsai's student records, including the beginning and ending dates of Tsai's study and the names of Tsai's supervisor and Viva examiners. Wilson promised to provide a copy and copied the request to Sue Donnelly, LSE archivist at the time. Tsai's office also expected to receive the records of Tsai's Viva exam date, the Viva result notification date, the date of PhD award, and the dates of Tsai's applications for 2 PhD diplomas reissued in 2010 and 2015, respectively. This indicates that Tsai had 2 PhD diplomas, which were reissued in 2010 and 2015. In addition, Tsai knew that the UOL was the degree-awarding body in the early 1980s. In order to prove her 1984 PhD, she needed to rely on the records of her Viva exam and PhD award from UOL, not LSE. On September 3, 2019, at 10:18, Donnelly emailed a copy of Tsai's LSE student file to Tsai's office. At 11:06, Wilson reminded Tsai's office that they should also contact the UOL for Tsai's student records. On September 4, 2019, Tsai filed a criminal defamation complaint with the Taiwan Taipei District Prosecutor's Office. Though Tsai's office received Tsai's LSE student file the day before, Tsai's attorneys knew they could not rely on them to prove Tsai's PhD degree. They submitted 2 UOL documents not in Tsai's LSE student file to the prosecutor's office to prove Tsai's 1984 PhD. One was Tsai's PhD diploma reissued in 2015 when Tsai ran for president and academic fraud was alleged against her. The other was a letter certifying the reissuance of the PhD diploma dated September 22, 2015, and issued by Craig O'Callaghan, Chief Operating Officer at UOL. According to the fine print at the bottom, O'Callaghan's letter is not official because it does not bear his embossed seal. One email on September 11, 2019, indicates that Tsai's office contacted UOL, but UOL did not respond. In other words, UOL did not provide the dates of Tsai's applications for those 2 PhD diplomas reissued in 2010 and 2015 for Tsai to prove the authenticity of these 2 reissued PhD diplomas and Tsai's PhD degree. On September 19, 2019, Tsai's attorneys began submitting the records found in Tsai's LSE student file to the prosecutor's office as evidence to prove Tsai's 1984 PhD degree. Including Tsai's Viva result notification letter issued on February 8, 1984, and Tsai's original PhD diploma issued on March 14, 1984. On March 10, 2020, Tsai's attorneys prepared a list of 12 documents to be sent to LSE for authentication. According to Tsai's attorneys, these 12 documents were copied from Tsai's LSE student file, and they specifically requested LSE to verify whether or not these 12 documents matched the records in Tsai's LSE student file stored in the LSE archives. It is worth noting that Tsai's attorneys never submitted Tsai's PhD diploma, reissued in 2010 by UOL, to the prosecutor's office. Furthermore, the documents issued by UOL, including Tsai's PhD diplomas reissued in 2015, O'Callaghan's letter, and Tsai's original PhD diploma, were not on the list of those 12 documents sent to LSE for authentication. These documents are UOL documents that could only be authenticated by UOL, not LSE. However, on March 10, 2020, when requesting the list of 12 documents to be sent to LSE for authentication, Tsai's attorney submitted one UOL document, Exhibit 43, to support Tsai's 1984 PhD degree, and included this UOL document, which was identified as Document 2, in the list of 12 documents to be sent to LSE for authentication. Document 2 consisted of 3 records: a letter from the Free Chinese Center on September 23, 1987, a letter from P.C. Kennedy at UOL on September 30, 1987, and a copy of Tsai's original PhD diploma issued on March 14, 1984. Tsai's attorneys included Document 2 in the list of 12 documents sent to LSE for authentication because they could find it in Tsai's LSE student file. Furthermore, in the last paragraph, Kennedy stated, "I have passed your letter to the London School of Economics and Political Science in the hope they may be able to help you further." By including Document 2 in the list, Tsai's attorneys were able to send Tsai's original PhD diploma issued by UOL to LSE for authentication. On June 18, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office in the UK emailed the list of records to Donnelly for authentication, but Donnelly never responded to the email. 4 days later, on June 22, Kevin Haynes, head of the LSE legal team, responded instead. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Haynes asked the Taipei Representative Office to provide a description, or ideally scanned copies of the documents that the Taipei Representative Office was seeking to authenticate. On June 24, 2020, Haynes received a list of 13 documents and scanned copies instead of a list of 12 documents. Document 1 was added to the list of 12 documents prepared by Tsai's attorneys on March 10, 2020, making it a total of 13 documents to be authenticated by LSE. Document 1 consisted of 2 records. One was Tsai's original PhD diploma issued on March 14, 1984, and the other was Tsai's PhD diploma reissued in 2015. After Document 1 was added, Document 2 was renumbered as Document 3. Both Documents 1 and 3 contained a copy of Tsai's original PhD diploma issued in 1984. Document 5 was Tsai's Viva Result Notification Letter issued on February 9, 1984. Documents 1, 3, and 5 were UOL documents that could only be authenticated by UOL. On July 7, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office followed up, and Haynes responded. For Documents 1, 3, and 5, Haynes suspected the UOL was best placed to verify them. The next day, on July 8, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office in the UK contacted Binda Rai, head of communications at the UOL, to authenticate Documents 1, 3, and 5. The subject of the email was a request to authenticate copies of certificates and letters, from the Education Division. On July 22, 2020, Rai was contacted again but never responded. On July 28, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office in the UK forwarded the request to Craig O'Callaghan to authenticate Tsai's PhD diploma reissued in 2015. O'Callaghan never responded. Instead, Jackson Mbelini, head of transcripts and student records, responded the next day. He declined to authenticate the documents without Tsai's written consent, invoking the Data Protection Act. Rachel McGuire is the Information and Records Manager at LSE. According to her email on June 27, 2019, at 14:04, fairness is the main data protection principle. Regarding the degree, this is fair to release as it is usually in the student's interest to confirm they received the degree they are saying they received. There will be negative consequences for them if we don't. Tsai's attorneys requested that the evidence be authenticated to prove Tsai's 1984 PhD degree. It is in Psy's best interest, but UOL refused to authenticate the evidence without Psy's consent. No records show Psy's PhD diplomas, Kennedy's letter, and Psy's Viva result notification letter have ever been authenticated by UOL with or without Psy's consent. For authenticating the evidence, Haynes' email on July 7, 2020, is puzzling for two reasons. First, Haynes and Donnelly worked together under the school secretary division at the time. Haynes could have quickly learned that Donnelly sent Psy's LSE student file to Psy's office on September 3, 2019. Second, as head of the LSE legal team, Haynes knows how to authenticate evidence. But in the email, Haynes stated that, "I have contacted a number of colleagues to try to find out whether we might have copies of the information you have kindly provided, or indeed any other way of verifying it." The Taipei representative office immediately advised Haynes to contact Donnelly for the documents. On July 23, 2020, except for document 1, Haynes verified all 12 documents as authentic, including Kennedy's letter and Psy's original diploma contained in document 3. In other words, Haynes refused to authenticate Psy's original diploma sent to LSE contained in document 1, but verified Psy's original PhD diploma contained in document 3 as authentic. Haynes prepared a list of the documents he verified as authentic and added the page numbers on which he found them in Psy's LSE student file. The request to authenticate evidence submitted by Psy's attorneys to the prosecutor's office was to verify whether or not the list of 12 documents matched the records in Psy's LSE student file stored in the LSE archives. Haynes was and still is head of the LSE legal team. He verified not only LSE documents but also UOL documents as authentic simply because he was able to find them in Psy's LSE student file stored in the LSE archives. His unique way of authenticating evidence was consistent with Psy's attorney's request to authenticate the evidence. Haynes found document 3 on pages 42 and 43. His finding is consistent with Donnelly's email dated June 17, 2019, showing that Psy's PhD diploma issued on March 14, 1984, was found between page 43 and page 46 of Psy's LSE student file. Haynes most likely excluded the Free Chinese Center's letter sent to UOL on September 23, 1987. Kennedy's letter is also a document from the UOL, but Haynes verified it as authentic simply because he found a copy of the letter on page 42 or 43 in Psy's LSE student file. LSE is a prestigious higher education institution. By verifying Kennedy's letter as authentic, LSE confirmed that Psy's PhD was awarded after submitting a thesis title as certified by Kennedy's letter. Paragraph 59 of the ICO decision notice issued on September 3, 2021, stated that UOL did not retain hard copies of students' certificates. The information posted on the official website of the UOL's transcript office confirms that the UOL does not keep hard copies of students' diplomas. Therefore, Psy is the only person who has a copy of her original PhD diploma and the only source of all photocopies of her original PhD diploma. This is Psy's original PhD diploma found by Haynes in Psy's LSE student file and provided to the Taipei Representative Office in the UK on December 18, 2020. It was blurry and barely legible. Haynes described it as an albeit poor quality copy of President Psy's certificate that is contained on her student file. On June 3, 2021, the Ministry of Education provided a copy of Psy's original PhD diploma submitted to the Ministry of Education in 1984. It was also blurry and barely legible. It indicates that the copy of Tsai's original PhD diploma sent to the academic registrar at UOL by the Free Chinese Center on September 23, 1987, and kept in Tsai's LSE student file was most likely a copy of the one submitted to the Ministry of Education in 1984. It was a copy that was blurry and barely legible. Sue Donnelly emailed a copy of Tsai's LSE student file to Tsai's office on September 3, 2019. The next day, September 4, 2019, Tsai's office disclosed Tsai's original PhD diploma on Facebook. It was clear and legible. On September 19, 2019, Tsai's attorney proffered a copy of Tsai's original PhD diploma to the prosecutor's office. It was also clear and legible. On June 24, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office in the UK sent a copy of Tsai's original PhD diploma to Haynes for authenticating the evidence. It was also clear and legible. It defies logic that Tsai was able to make a clear and legible copy out of a blurry and barely legible copy, and indicates that Tsai had a clear and legible copy of her original diploma, which differed from the one in her LSE student file. Tsai's attorneys submitted Document 3 to the prosecutor's office and requested authentication of evidence on the same day, March 10, 2020. Did Tsai's attorney know in advance that Haynes would authenticate Tsai's original PhD diploma when it was submitted as part of Document 3 on March 10, 2010? Furthermore, Haynes verified the clear and legible copy of Tsai's original PhD diploma as authentic based on the blurry and barely legible copy he found in Tsai's LSE student file. Haynes verified Tsai's original PhD diploma as authentic on July 23, 2020. 5 days later, on July 28, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office in the UK sent an official letter to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Taipei reporting that Tsai's original PhD diploma, on page 5 of Document 3, was consistent with Tsai's LSE student file stored in the LSE archives. Haynes knew that the request for authenticating evidence was made for Tsai's criminal defamation complaint by the Taiwan Taipei District Prosecutor's Office. His conduct raised ethical issues and suspicions about his qualifications as a legal professional and head of the LSE legal team. Michael Richardson submitted a FOIA request to verify Haynes' qualifications. Haynes is not licensed to practice law in the UK. He is not bound by the Solicitors Regulation Authority Code of Conduct nor the Bar Standards Board Handbook Code of Conduct for Barristers. Tsai also had a PhD diploma reissued in 2010 when she ran for the new Taipei city mayor. She was required to submit an official document to prove her 1984 PhD. On December 16, 2020, the Taipei Representative Office in the UK presented it to Haynes. Haynes advised to contact the Senate House at UOL. No record shows that UOL has ever authenticated Tsai's PhD diploma reissued in 2010. Tsai had 3 PhD diplomas. UOL did not authenticate any of them. Haynes, as head of the LSE legal team, authenticated Tsai's original PhD diploma.